Alright, the nice spot is open, so we're going to go ahead and go sit there and talk about this 40-day fast. So walk with me in this beautiful place called Colonia Divina, and I will tell you all about my fasting journey. We're just going to sit right there. Plus, look at all these plants I have to start planting soon. These are all grafts that I've been buying. So many different varieties that we have to start planting. Anyhow, so 40-day fast, water fast, by the way. So let's get started with the meaning of a fast and when I did it. So a fast is when you're giving your body a chance to rest. The fast itself is not a cure. That must be very clear in your guys' heads. All the fast is doing is allowing the body a chance for it to cure itself. So nothing outside of the body cures the body. This is natural hygiene 101. So fast is, I guess you could say, a tool or a lack of. And creating this lack of actually heals the body, because the body is being overwhelmed constantly by toxins. And some degree of toxins is able to be handled by the nerve energy that is produced in the body. But what we are putting in our bodies is way beyond, way past anything outside of the species-specific diet, which is a whole nother topic to get into. Whole raw fruits, leafy greens like lettuce is the best. Nuts and seeds and sprouts. Outside of these foods, you are, causing your body more stress than it can handle, than it can produce. More nerve energy is being used up. So that's what a fast is. A fast is a chance for the body to, let go of itself, to cleanse itself, to not constantly be wasting digestive energy and stressing the body constantly as such. So in natural hygiene, we only do water fasts. We do not do dry fasts. Why? Because when the toxins come out of your body and they're in a concentrated form, what do you think can dilute them? Our group is infamous for always saying the solution to dilution is pollution. The solution to pollution is dilution. So if you're dry fasting and there's a large amount of toxins coming out of your body, do you think your kidneys, your lymphatic system, your excretory organs can handle that? Chances are you're going to die and end up on the news, and then all of us are going to get a bad rap because you fell for some fad, because it's like an ascetic thing. It's not something that's actually going to help you. No, rather you're doing it because it's like a trend and it makes you cooler and one step above. Fasting is not done as a one step above. Fasting is a serious reflection time. And at the same time, there's a lot of responsibility in fasting. Also because, chances are people are going to have to help you out. Because when you're fasting, you're going to be very weak. And people are going to have to do things for you. So there's a liability aspect in that as well. But also, you have to realize that when you're fasting, you're not only fasting for yourself, you're fasting for your family members. You're fasting for your friends. You're fasting for your colleagues. Because they too are watching you and looking at you. So you better set a good example. You're fasting for the earth, because if you clean yourself, you best believe you'll probably be better at cleaning up the earth. You're fasting for the world, really. So when you're fasting, you're really taking responsibility for the world and the ills of the world. So let's get that out of the way. So we talked about the dry fast, and there's a lot of fear surrounding the fast. I think where this fear comes from, it's probably a parasitic thing, because the number one thing that doesn't like the fast is the things that I've been feeding on, all the things that have been coming in that are not, meant to be coming in, that are not our species-specific diet, that is backed up by anatomy and angstroms of energy and so on and so forth, and all this. But it seems like there's a giant fear in fasting, and I think this fear stems from an insecurity. It stems from a lack of willingness to admit that one is at a state that is very, very poor. And it's even funny because like people call themselves religious. I honestly think we should throw away all religions and realize we're under the same God, and we shouldn't be controlled by this thing that was made by thought, because thought always creates the war, the division, the mistrust, the conflict. So why are we bowing down to thought? Anyhow, it seems that even people in these religions, they say they believe in God and they say they love God and that they are devoted to God, but did not God create your body? So why are you completely disregarding your organism, your temple, your vehicle that should be used for the purposes of a higher meaning and will, not just the lower seven lust, pride, so on and so forth, not these vices. Rather, you should, the opposite of this gluttony would be fasting if you have to. Moderation, So I see a lot of hypocrisy, and basically what it is it's the fear of someone else doing better than I. That's probably the most common fear in this world today, because, it's set up that way. It's like a Hunger Games society. You're not really, patted on the back if you do something like a fruitarian project and help people plant a bunch of fruit around the world and not really expect much in return. No one's going to pat you on the back, right? In fact, you might get persecuted for doing so. So that's the kind of world we live in. So it's understandable to a degree. But we must recognize this fact that a lot of people, they want to just pull other people down because if someone else is cleaning their body and optimizing their organism, hey, I'm not doing that. That's threatening to my, little idea of myself that I've built up. So fasting is really like a shedding process in that sense, because you're shattering what you are. You are the world. So perhaps it's a time for coming out of illusion, per se. So let's talk a little bit about that fruitarian girl, because I mentioned her about this whole dry fasting fad. So yes, she was severely underfeeding herself. So in natural hygiene, you need to get a lot of food, especially in the beginning, because if you don't fast and if you don't have a clean organism already, your chances are your absorption is horrible. You've been eating all these things that are leaching minerals, leaching vitamins, actually causing it harder for your body to obtain those minerals and vitamins. So by the time you start eating real food, you can't even absorb most of it. And so that could have been part of the problem, but that's the majority of people. They need to be eating a lot of bananas, like a lot of calorie-dense dates, whatever it is. Dates are a little bit dry, but you get the idea. You need calorie-dense foods in the beginning, especially in the beginning when your body cleans up and is getting better at receiving real food, right? So she was severely underfeeding. She was dry fasting, as I was been talking about so far, and she died in the hospital, of all places. So it's one thing if she died on her own in some hut somewhere, that's one thing, but she died in the hospital, folks. So these three things show you that these kinds of people, these so-called influencers, give us a bad rap. Natural hygiene is the most commonsensical. It makes the most sense all around. It ties in with regenerative agriculture. No one really gets that part to it, but because everyone's just consuming right now and not thinking about producing and having a garden where they can actually eat to their heart's content, But yeah, and so most people, when it comes to fasting again, it's like, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? It's going to hurt my body. A lot of pain is going to happen. Well, that's supposed to happen. So most things on a fast, unless it's like severe cases, like throwing up for like 7 days in a row or something like that, like where you just cannot hydrate yourself. And that's the other big thing, is if you cannot take in soft water, good water, enough of it, you need to, break your fast. So like if you have diarrhea plus throwing up constantly, and then you're going to be dehydrated, no? So then you're not ready to relieve those poisons as they come out of your body. And that's another thing here that I'll mention right off the bat was a downside was here I don't have a distiller. I have one at Korea, and on the 5th day I traveled from Korea to Philippines. I do not recommend going in transport. The smells, the stress, everything, the lights, horrible experience. But I did decide to come to a better environment, better, fresh air, so on and so forth. I can come out into the sunshine much easier and take off my shirt. There's warm water, there's an irrigation system, not the cleanest water. So that was a little bit of the downside. So the drinking water aspect is I was on mineral water, basically, like a well or spring water, for like 20 something days, -5, so 20 days, maybe 20-ish days. And around like day 27-ish, 28-ish or so, I asked the boys, please, I cannot be taking in this water anymore. These minerals, I'm at such a weak, vulnerable state right now. Any extra toxin is just not going to help. It's just not going to, I need to get to the end of this, right? I promised myself, I want to stay true to my honor. I said that I would do this to other people as well. So help me go to some water filtration, find out if they put any chemicals. If they don't, it's most likely osmosis. The guy, one of the brothers here, Sandy, said it's probably osmosis or reverse osmosis. So I've been on that. That's like the second best choice you have. I mean, back then rain would have been the best choice, or soft spring water, but now you need distilled water. There's no other option. I mean, basically, other than reverse osmosis, or if you can test your waters and figure out if it's soft or not. Distilled is basically steam collected, so it's just water, and that's what your body needs, just water. Nothing else. It's not going to take out the good minerals. It's going to take out the extra bull crap. Reindeer have been known to not drink out of streams and drink from the snow, because the snow is distilled water, because it hydrates them faster. And obviously there's detoxification purposes that science hasn't caught up with yet. But the water in fruits is distilled. It's being distilled, right? Like the coconut water is distilled. It's just there's nutrients added to the distilled water. But the minerals in a coconut water versus the minerals in the spring and the well water, let's not get too deep into that, but basically one is going to hurt you and one is not. One is going to really be good for you. So other things that was really good was sun grounding. No one really talks about this for fasting, but please ground. And having a somewhat consistent temperature. I try to stay out of too much heat. Usually was in the shade a lot. I like to be in the sun when it's either cloudy or low in the sky. Cleanliness, there wasn't that much cleanliness here, and there was mold, so I would recommend against that. But I mean, relatively clean, just because we're in nature and not in the city. And a hammock. Guys, my back was hurting so bad. I think in the beginning my back hurting, maybe around like day 20-ish. Possibly bad posture from sleeping, but also, by the way, you want to sleep on good, like cotton, linen, that type of stuff. I was not, giving that much thought, but I had to do what I had to do with what I had. But anyhow, when I was sleeping, my lower back was really hurting. I'm guessing my kidneys were just backed up. And then later, just my back in general was hurting. And, just sitting up was very tough. Standing by like day 30 was near impossible. Like, the most I could do was go urinate and come back, and I was winded and my heart's beating fast, all this kind of stuff. So a hammock, whatever you want to say, you need one of those, because that will really, and in the shade best, where there's cool air flowing, that's really gonna be nice. Something like this is nice too, that I'm on right here. Like this kind of a bamboo wooden board kind of thing. That would be really good. Koreans have this thing called pyeongdan. It's like a raised wooden bed where people can sit, lie down. Like usually it's a big one, so lots of people can lie down together. Old people really like using it. That's the kind of stuff you need to just rest and not for it not to be so hard on your body. So yeah, so environment is pretty important. So figure out a good thing. So that's one of the hardships I was facing, was my back being very weak and at the same time aching. And obviously then that relates to sleep. So my sleep posture was probably not the best. I was not sleeping very well. Also because I would have to pee often, so I would recommend trying to get your 4 liters at least. Lauren was saying 4 to 6. If you can't do 4 to 6, stop the fast. So that's like 1 gallon, at least 1 gallon, right? So the gallon or 4 liters, get it in, I would say before like most of it before like dinner time, so that you're not peeing so much or you're not urinating so much during the nighttime. And keep some water next to your bed, because when you're sleeping, that's when most of the toxins are being eliminated. And so that's when you want to sometimes hydrate yourself, because you're just so dehydrated from the body using the water to clean up, right? Because it has so much energy left over to clean up. And yeah, and then we can talk about the coated tongue. I had coated tongue the whole way. I think it was really bad until like day 38, 37. It's like my body almost knew time was up for cleaning. But even now I get coated tongue after the fast. This is 3 days after. I've significantly raised my exercise amount. Yesterday and today I did quite a bit of exercise for someone who just came off a fast. And I've been actually eating quite a lot already, and I feel really good. But coated tongue's still there. So there's something in the gut, something in the intestines that haven't been totally cleaned. I think most people say it's like fungicide. It's just intestinal trash that's coming out. So this is a very key point. You'll know when you're done fasting, or when you should technically stop fasting, if you can't drink water or if you're passing into starvation. But the other thing is your sign that the body gives you, where the breath becomes sweet, and I think the coated tongue would disappear. But Shelton would always say the breath becomes sweet, and there's a sweet taste in the mouth. So when you get that, that's when your body has pretty much finished. I would say probably 90%, 98%, something like that. So the constant fatigue obviously was very tough. So day like 5, again, I traveled from Philippines to Korea. I had a transfer flight. I had, an hour or 2 hour bus ride. And, these are not the highest class buses, right? And then I have a tricycle for an hour, and then I walk up for like 10 minutes of this crappy road. Like a river, rocky kind of, like, you have to balance kind of road. So do not ever do that. But on day 5, I was actually able to do that, with little to no issue. I was very tired, obviously, but I could do it. I think it was like 11-ish or something. I went to the city because my friend wanted to get some fruit, and doesn't drive, so I did that. But that was like the extent of my energy that day. And then 13, I think I went to like a waterfall, or maybe that was day 11. Maybe that was like the city was like, which is like an hour motorcycle ride, was like day 8 or something, or 7 or something. So like day 11-ish, I went to like the waterfall here. Again, no energy to do that, but that was like the maximum cap. And then maybe a few days later, I tried walking down to the village area, which is again like a 10-minute rocky road. Impossible. No energy to do that. So obviously you should not be moving. Maybe after day 5, really. Stop the movement and let the body rest, and use all the energy, not in dealing with the movement lactic acids, but the acids that are already there, So, and then bowel movements again at day 5-ish. I think that was my last small weird bowel movement. And then weirdly on day 13, I didn't think I was going to be able to have a bowel movement, but some slimy, gooey, I think it was mucoid plaque, like mixed in maybe. It's like almost like red guts. Actually, I have a video and pictures of it, but I'm not going to show. For the people who want to, you can contact me separately for that. But yeah, so on day 13 of my fast, I had this weird slimy thing come out. And then, get this, 1 hour after breaking my fast on grapes and coconut water and very, very young coconut meat. So the food hasn't even gone through yet, right? 1 hour, or maybe some of it might have. But anyhow, the body sends an electrical signal already and says, oh, he's starting to put stuff in, we can put stuff out now. And the same color, but this time like a very acidic version of it. So like it was kind of painful. Like it looks like red guts basically, or brown, like, you know, if you've ever seen someone gut meat before and all the guts fall out, well, that plus a little brown, like that brownish, reddish. It was absolutely horrible. But so right after my 40-day, that happened. And I think it was either today or, so day 2 or day 3 of breaking my fast, I had another bowel movement where half of it was that slime still, and then half of it was, I'm guessing, new food I'm eating, but maybe it's different slime, I don't know. So I am taking pictures of it to document, for documentation purposes, but which is disgusting, but you know, it's important because, you know, we want to just not look at what we produce and what we expel, but really that was a part of us. So we should part with it in a very respectful fashion and at the same time learn from it, not just hide it because it's so disgusting. The other thing I guess I could talk about is people. So people, it's like half and half. Sometimes I like having people around, but some people are just enervating. Like some children are really pleasing, but other children are just, you know, they're probably eating horribly, so they just cannot handle themselves, and that's not the best. Like you want an environment free of stress because your body's already dealing with the stress that it already has accumulated, no? So, and then on top of that, like music, oh, some music is just, I cannot, you know, like generic, cliche, and even like religious music, oh, it just made me want to throw up, you know? But like more stuff with spirit and soul, I think you know what I'm talking about for those who know what music is, really. That stuff seems to be okay. So, and obviously like my music, some of my music, like I kind of like a jazzy hip-hop type, upbeat type beat sometimes, or like a almost like a Japanese chill hip hop type beat, like a Zen type thing, like lo-fi a little bit. So like just to chill out and mellow down a little bit. That's good. I like some old school hits, obviously, but those were fine. But you know, like monotonous, just soulless indoctrination music, oh no thank you. And then smells, obviously. So all the senses, you have to protect them, right? So smells, you know, they were always cooking food, and you always get the thought of, oh, should I just break it and eat this delicious looking jackfruit recipe, because jackfruit is my favorite like cooked food recipe that they have here. Even now they're making it. Ugh, and every time I look at it, I'm just like, should I just eat one piece? But I haven't caved in for so long already. So yeah, so again, it's good to keep busy, because then it'll be a lot easier to keep your mind off of food and whatever else is going to bother you and make you miserable. So, you know, a book over a screen. Unfortunately, I don't have any books here, so if I wanted to look at like hygiene resources, I would have to use the screen, but try to reduce the screen time, because that in itself is enervating. So, and plus it's just like, fasting is kind of like meditation, no? So you want to, if you want to get into the more meditative mood of things, the screen and this technology is not really what you need. You need nature. Nature's really gonna heal you and teach you what's right, and the the real rhythms, the circadian rhythms, if you will. That's the other thing, is my sleep schedule is really bad, and then I just stayed up one night and slept at the right time, and then gave some effort the next days to try to do that, and I reset the circadian rhythm. That was good. So I think I covered the majority of it, so we can go a little bit into refeeding, and then I'll end this video because it's getting quite long. So when you're refeeding, you want to do, this is what I was reading from Shelton's Fasting Can Save Your Life, like 100 grams of food in the beginning every 2 hours. And then the next day, 200 grams of food every day for 2 hours. So I think, because, well, is that right? Because I think he was saying 4 ounces the first hour, and then, or the first day every 2 hours, and then 8 ounces, and then a whole fruit the third day every 2 hours. Same with grams, a whole, maybe like just a whole fruit the third day every 2 hours. The other thing you can do is juice in the beginning, like at the very beginning, because we don't really recommend juice because it's taking away the fibers and already oxidizing it so much. So instantly squeezed and drunken juice could be a good option, or just juicing it with your mouth just for like the first day perhaps, or half day. I broke it at 8 p.m. here, or 9 p.m. Korea is when I think I started. I could have started at 7 p.m. so maybe I'm a little bit into 41 days of fasting. But anyhow, I'm limit testing right now, guys, so I'm gonna be showing you videos right now. I have to cut them up because there's not exporting out of iMovie. I'm using iMovie right now because my screen is damaged. I'm gonna learn Final or DaVinci, a better editing software, but for now iMovie's not able to handle the load of my videos, so I'm getting delayed on my refitting videos of day 2, and obviously I'm gonna make stuff for today, day 3. But I really amped up my eating very quickly, and at the same time I really amped up my exercise, as I will show you in my day 3 video. I went down 10 minutes with basically like this crappy road for 10 minutes, and then I came up with like weights, basically like 5 kilos on each side, basically about the max I can do for now. But Shelton kind of discourages, Herbert Shelton, by the way, natural hygienist, he discourages exercise just because you want to gain weight in the beginning, so you just want to focus on getting calories in. But for me, I have different objectives. My objectives is to show that, or not necessarily show that you have to do it, but just to see if I can refeed with greater quantity faster, and at the same time get more exercise quicker, faster, and grow quickly. So that's my objective, and so far, so good. It's working really well. My friend did get me too many avocados at one point, and so I didn't want to waste those. So yesterday night I actually had 2 avocados, which is not ideal. You just want one, even if you're not fasting. And after you break a fast, you probably don't want any fat. If you're gonna do lettuce, I haven't been putting citrus on it, but you probably don't want to put citrus in the beginning. And God, let me tell you, oh, when I first ate the coconut, after I was done, you can see on my day 1, it tasted like Michelin star fried seasoned octopus. Like, it was just so juicy and amazing. The grapes were just so sweet, even though some were fermented. Probably shouldn't do that either. It was just amazing. So that was that, when I broke it. Food, you get a whole new appreciation for food, and you realize how much you've been abusing your senses, so that you have to just have so many different condiments and so many different things for things to taste good. But trust me, after a 40-day fast, everything tastes like heaven, and everything heavenly tastes like heaven. That's the point. We're too adjusted to hell, folks. So yeah, again, so before I end things, I just want to say I'm a 6'3", 6'2.5", 6'3" after I wake up. 190 centimeter, 192 centimeter when I wake up, male. 25 years old, in his prime. So you may not be able to compare your body with my body, so just know though that there's those factors. Also, I'm very passionate about creating Edens all over the world, and I'm very passionate about teaching people about healing. So with this passion and with this youth, by the way, I was eating very unhealthy before, but anyhow, with this passion and with this youth and this drive, I think also enables my body to do things that are probably not able to be done. And so just note that I'm benchmarking for my type of build, and it may not fit for your type of build. So you can go check out my refeeding videos that are going to be posted slowly but surely and see what works for you. So don't, take everything with a grain of salt. And I guess the last thing I'll end with here is I want to thank Dr. Mahilom who set up this village, Colonia Divina. And I really do think that he's helping me right now, even though he's already passed. And that, even, other people are saying that his spirit is living in me. So he's the grandfather of GB and Sandy, and he already had this Kin's Domain or Garden of Eden purpose for his village, talking about raw food, talking about fasting. And I just want to thank him. I want to thank his family. I want to thank Colonia Divina as a whole. I want to thank the Philippines. And really I want to thank the world. Because I'm here, I get a chance to experience all this, and perhaps this is my way of giving back. So that's what I have to say about that. And yeah, maybe I'll keep making refeeding videos until week 1, and then I'll have to start gaining enough strength to start planting all these beautiful fruit trees. So, God, thank you for watching.